Hi, nobodies. I do not own the music playing in the background as far as copyright, but I did buy the track. Okay, so today it seems like my Beaumont friends wanted advice. It's really weird. Now, I mean, one of my Beaumont friends, it's pretty common for him to want advice. And I don't know how much of it sinks in. I keep telling him just about everything. Dude, you need to work on yourself. Not that there's anything wrong with him in particular. It's that, a person should always be working on themselves. I mean, that's just common, it should be common knowledge that you never stop working on yourself, becoming better, becoming smarter, becoming nicer, whatever. Always growing and learning and being something better, or trying to at least. So I he's really caught up on this whole like having a relationship thing. And I get it. I mean, with girls especially, there's this whole thing about, if you don't have a boyfriend, it's like so you go from person, I mean, it's like a quick, this is my boyfriend. Um I guess it's because like see, for myself in particular, I don't necessarily need people, but it's nice to know that if I needed comfort, I've got people to go to. Um which I don't know why I didn't just go to my guy friends as like, "Hey, I'm having a bad day." And them saying, "You want us to go kick somebody's ass?" For some reason it had to be an actual like boyfriend. So I don't know. But it's I think it's pretty common with women to be constantly doing that. Like to not be single. Maybe it's because the world screws a lot of us up when you think about it. I mean, think about the women that are like driven. I mean, they're all about the same. The women that say, "I don't need a man," you know, they're all about the same. They're strong. And it's like somebody did not wreck them. Nobody told them that, I mean, how sad is that? That most people are told that they're not good enough to a point where most people have to be in a relationship to validate that they're worthy of something. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't have that issue. I can't get the word out. Um, it's like they all have that whole, "I'm not worthy if I don't have a boyfriend," or the guy saying, "If I don't have a girlfriend, I'm just nothing." But your worth is not in another person. I mean, it's great when they recognize your worth, when people recognize it, but friends are just as good as somebody that you can have get married to or have as a boyfriend. I mean, friends work out too. But anyway, my buddy, he's just like so caught up on this idea that he needs a girlfriend right now, and I'm almost like, well, dude, at the end of the night, you're still going to be screwing your hand. I mean, until you get out of jail, it's just you and your hand tonight. So why do you need to make this decision today? I mean, I want him to work on himself. He needs to do some work on what he really wants, and I think that he'll settle. Now, I'm not saying that the girl is wrong for him, because I don't know. We don't talk about his relationship in general. I just know that he's with the girl, as far as, like they're a couple. He says they're a couple. But it's like you don't have to have a girlfriend right now. you know, if let her go work on herself if she's not everything that you want. And I mean, granted, I've always said perfect does not exist. Like, you're never gonna be able to check off all the boxes. So you settle. I've always said that. But I'm starting to think that, I mean, as long as you're not like super, super picky, you can get most of those boxes ticked. I mean, as long as you're not expecting like some supermodel Barbie with a brain and money and drive and libido and I mean, like, if you're, let's see, what was it the guy used to say? I want a young, dumb, blonde nymphomaniac. I can't remember the whole thing. It's weird because I normally know my lyrics. I'd sing right along with it if it came on though. Um, but the thing is if you want that person, yeah, you can have those boxes. The thing is though, is are you ready for that person? If you're not ready for that person, you can't have that person. That's just how it goes. You can't have them if you're not ready for them. So I mean, if you're fat and broke and 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 ugly and you stink. And I'm trying to think of stuff. I mean, being fat in and of itself, not a bad thing. Some people like that. But if you find somebody that meets all those boxes, they've still got to tick you off in theirs. And if they want somebody up to their level, I mean, if they're a 10 and you're a 4, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to level up some way or another. Now, whether it's, a lot can be said for humor, a lot can be said for intelligence, um, literary prowess. If a guy like Cyrano de Bergerac, if you're like him, she loved him. He wasn't, she didn't care about his nose. I love that movie. It's like that is one of my favorites. It's Cyrano de Bergerac with Gerard Depardieu. So he played it so well, and dang, Christian was fine. For those of you that don't know, this movie is old, but it was Marius in Queen of the Damned. The actor that played Marius played Christian in the Cyrano de Bergerac movie that was in French. And he was hot. But he wasn't that bright in that movie. It's a really sad story. If you ever get a chance to read it, it is really sad. Gerard Depardieu also was in The Count of Monte Cristo in French and did an excellent job. He is really a good actor. Even though his American showing was not so great, except in The Three Musketeers. He was awesome in The Three Musketeers. Anyway, or no, not The Three Musketeers. Man in the Iron Mask. I messed up. But, I mean, you've got to work. I mean, you can be ugly as hell, but you better come with something. Some special spark. Because, I mean, if you want a 10 and you're a 4, you're going to have something special. And I mean, sometimes that's money. I guess dignity or morality is not one of the boxes that you're ticking off if she's a gold digger. Integrity, I think is the word I'm looking for. But the thing is, I can't get this guy to realize that he can have what he wants. He might have to be alone for a while, but there's plenty of girls out there that he can be alone with, and have a little fun. You don't have to marry them all. And he sometimes gets, sometimes he's like, I'm going to be out there and be a player. And then other times he's like, God wants me to be married. Like I said, he needs to work on himself. Figure out what you want to where it doesn't change. You know, I've always known what I wanted. But sometimes in life, you go for the most boxes ticked, and it's not until later that you say, oops. So you need all the boxes ticked. And looks, money, a fancy car, those things don't last. So you're going to have to have better boxes to tick. It really needs to be about what lasts. Sense of humor, intelligence, sense of adventure, a gypsy soul, nomadic lifestyle, you know, brawn. You want somebody strong. Or maybe you want somebody whose ass you can whoop. Who knows? I'm not saying you want somebody who's weak enough for you to whoop their ass so you can whoop their ass, because you don't do that to people. That's never healthy. That's not good. Because I have yet to find somebody who ticks that box off. Will he beat me? Yes, he will. He's a keeper. No. No. So you don't settle for most of the boxes ticked unless you've got just like this crazy long list. Because like I said, perfect does not exist. But you can say, hey, you know what is important? And that is something you have to search in yourself for. And a lot of times you can find what you want when you look at people you dated. Because if you put them all together, a lot of times, you'll find various traits. Like if you think about what you liked about that person before it all went to shit. Think about what you liked and you put that down. That's what you want. Each and every thing that you can think of that made that person special, and then go through all of them. And this could be people you dated, people you slept with, people you really enjoyed their company, or people that you just wanted really bad, but you never got with. You never got a chance because one reason or another. But think about, and to do that, you have to be alone, because otherwise you're going to think you're describing whoever it is that you like. But he's not going to listen to me, apparently, when it comes to me saying, work on yourself. He's not going to listen to me. And I'll just keep saying it, and being there. Because I'm a glutton for punishment. And I still appreciate the fact that he asks for my advice. People don't realize what an honor that is. Because I'll tell you what, there are people I know. It was kind of funny, this one, she's like, you always get asked for advice. Nobody ever asks me for advice. Okay. This is a person who, every time they say, I just had a thought, I'm always automatically, did it hurt? Must be a new sensation. Just like 10 million things go through my head. Or I've been thinking, that's new. I am horrible. But I am not mean. So, she's all, why don't people ever ask me for advice? And I was like, I was sitting there thinking, don't say it, Ann. Don't you dare ever say it. But I'm going to say it now. That person never gets asked for advice because they're a fucking dumbass. Seriously. Like, you think of all the ways a person can be ignorant, she fits all of them. dumb. So nobody ever asks her for advice. But I just looked at her and said, I don't know. Maybe they just figure you're too busy living life to waste your time on them. You know. Or another time she says it because she says it a lot. I wonder why nobody ever asks me for advice. I'm surprised she notices that nobody asks her for advice, really, because she really does have her head up her ass most of the time. She definitely doesn't watch these. But yeah, it's kind of like, I always wondered why people ask my mom for advice, because I was like, I wouldn't take her advice. No fucking way. She's a fucking nut. Me, I try to be very conservative about what I tell people, because I'll say, hey, I don't know the situation, and if you're not telling me the details, I'm not gonna ask. You know, I'm just gonna give you a basic piece of advice, or I'm gonna tell them that they need to talk to somebody if I have no clue. But I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life, so I've watched a lot of things. I'm an introvert, so I observe a lot. And then I think about ways to fix what I see, you know, or how to prevent what I see. You know, a lot of looking at points of view. I told one of my friends, he said all of his girlfriends screwed him over. And I said, so the common denominator is you. Is it possible? And I was like, don't go into detail because I don't need to know these details. But is it possible that you did something to piss those girls off? And he said, I guess it's possible. I never thought about it. And I was like, well, there you go. You know, I mean, if everybody you've dated has screwed you over, you're either really shitty about choosing people or you're the problem. And I'm not saying that you're always the problem. And I'm not saying that, you know, but the first step to fixing things is to realize that there's a problem. So if everybody screws you over, you got to wonder why. And it ain't just because he's a nice guy, because they know they can take advantage of him. You know, he's just like a magnet for bad user girls. No, you can't blame that. I mean, my brother used to always say, girls just want guys that treat them like shit. They don't want a nice guy, you know. And when I hear that, I'm like, girls do tend to like a guy that doesn't seem to give a shit. Girls are complicated. I mean, there's a level of, we don't want a guy that's clingy. We want a man. You know, and if to people like my brother that looks like that dude's an asshole, so be it. Of course, chances are he was basing that assumption on his opinion of the guy, or of hearing the girls gripe about how bad the guy treated them, which it's, well, were you acting in a way that you deserved better treatment? You know, because don't expect respect from people. You kind of have to earn it. You have to put out that vibe that you deserve respect. If you're out there acting like a trash whore, don't expect the guy to treat you like you're the Queen of England. You know, chances are they're thinking you're a trash whore. So you're going to have to prove that you're not. You know, and that's by exuding class. Now, granted, even women with class get disrespected by dudes that have no freaking clue how to respect a woman. They have no respect for women. It's a common problem. But yeah, a guy can't be too attentive. We tend to get annoyed at that. I mean, even the clingy girls, the guy's supposed to be a little bit aloof. But I know that women will say, I want a guy that's sensitive and does this and does this and does this. Like, eh, meh. I don't need sensitivity. I just need somebody who won't judge me, and will kind of just figure out, they can like look at me and say, I know what you're thinking, or they can alter my mood, you know, to whatever suits. Because I'm really easy to alter as far as it depends. But you got to come up with new material. Like the same shit won't work 2 or 3 times. It's got to be new material. I get bored with the old jokes. Anyway, I better go now. I have stuff to do. So I had a great day today. Yesterday I didn't blog because I was sick. But today I'm great. So have a good night.